No, never mind
Hello
being
and
short.
welcome to an episode of Foreign and Domestic. If you've noticed already, which you may not have, none of us were prepared because Scotsman, well, he's not here on the panel, but we're on the Scotsman's channel. Scotsman is running the show from the background. None of us are actually prepared because, we're just sitting around shooting the crap beforehand. So while I get my ducks in the row, Daniel, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I mean, once Val's directions stop.
Mute your damn freaking thing.
I need to unmute if I want to do this. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for everyone. Gentlemen, start your engines.
That must
how
be
they
the
say it.
redneck version because I never heard of that.
That's
I've
how they
never
might
heard
is.
that one.
That's how they do it down south. NASCAR.
All right. Well, I guess that is what it is. We will, in standard format here, see who YouTube says is out there at the moment. We've got Edward Petty, Fresh Fowler, Gun Loving Grandpa, I've Got the Hiccups, MCK, Michael Hertnick, good old Might As Well Be, Keith Gregory, Thor's Axe, Thoughts of an Old Soldier, Wrench and Bolts, and of course there's the YouTube auditor. How are you? Tim S, Andy's 79, Z28, Anna Lee Brown, people piling in. Great to see people coming in. So Scotsman, he's not on the panel tonight. He's having technical difficulties, but he can run the show from the background. So that's what the famous Scotsman is doing. So we've already heard Daniel, but hey, how's it going, Daniel? What you been doing this week?
Well, let's see. I've been resting my back after that long trip, but you know what? It was worth it. Got to meet a bunch of great guys, and we got to go to a couple gun ranges. And let's see, got to meet Mark. Mark, I got your name right, buddy. You only got to write that 100 times. There's a story behind that. Jamie, Chico Wise, Kyle. Well, obviously there was Scotsman, and I met myself. But we had a great time down there, rested up some, and I've got my PO1 back from CZ Customs. So I went out there and I did a little bit of shooting with it. Oh yeah, good times had by all.
Very nice, very nice. The man that I was watching last night over on Rich's channel, Mr. Mario Mosen. How the heck are you, sir?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. It's always nice to be sent the link. I think he sent it last week, but I wasn't able to make it, so wanted to make it today. Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Just happy to be here and contribute to the madness. That's all I got.
Excellent, excellent. The bearded, knowledgeable one himself, JH586. How's your week treating you, Jamie?
Man, it's been a great couple of weeks. Man, I've had company in from out of town and get to hang out with Daniel and some more guys and Scotsman. And, man, I'm telling you, we had a great time. And, good times like that, you hate to see them in. You just want to, y'all just stay, or I'm going with y'all or whatever. But life goes on, and fabulous couple of weeks. We got Willie will be here for another week, so we'll be spending a good bit of time with him. And
I'm sorry.
Willie's getting ready to go to bed, so Good night, brother. I'll send you a text when I can. Hate you feeling bad. And Michael Hurtneck, I did get that email, and I will address that issue for you as soon as possible. So I hope everybody else has had a good week and getting primed up for another one going forward, because Sunday technically is the first day of the week. It just feels like the last day of the weekend, don't it?
Well, I've always considered it the last day of the week because on the seventh day he rested.
Yeah.
So professional amateur on the road. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing better than I deserve. I had a really, 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 really nice weekend with rec industries covered and the X-Ring. I got to shoot awesome match. As a matter of fact, the guy that won the entire match was on our squad. Last night was excellent. They had the food, live music. I mean, rednecks sure know how to party.
All right. Yeah, it's been one heck of a week for me. Work was just intense. So thankfully that got done with, and I've spent the majority of the weekend cleaning brass and doing more loads and more sizing.
Alan, why do you look like a hippie? What the hell is that you're wearing?
What do you mean? It ain't that long.
No, dude. What you're wearing, it looks like some
Oh,
stuff
well,
from
I decided
freaking-
to throw something over it because,
Oh,
just
you
the
don't wanna
black
show
wife beater. Scotsman's given
Oh.
me crap about it before.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable. I've been sitting in the house cleaning brass and sizing
Yeah.
brass and
Look like one of the dudes from the Brady Bunch.
Mario, why are you wearing a bowling shirt?
Yeah, that's the ignorant guy from Idaho.
It looks like LA bowling shirt. They got their own bowling
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't pick
Don't you
on
got-
Alan
don't you
just
got-
because he's
don't-
got
don't-
his disco from
Don't you got
70s
chickens to go
shirt on.
count? Don't you go?
No,
don't you
that's
got
the
chickens to
neighbors.
go count?
That's my
okay.
neighbor's chickens. I just go out there and steal them.
Oh, okay.
Cuts down
You're
on
not
the
gonna go
food
do some
cost.
cow tipping right now?
Oh, you want to go cow tipping? Come on out. We'll take you cow tipping
Yeah.
and snipe hunting.
Oh, sweet.
y'all just jealous because I look like the dude.
Yeah, you do look like the dude. Dude.
Oh, hey, we got the fuzzy out there.
Yeah, fuzzy.
I can't see any chat, so if there's something out there, let me know.
Okay.
No, you're not missing much, bro.
So how do you just start your drive there, Val?
No, actually, let's see, I got just under 7 hours to go, so I got 5 hours behind me, 5.5.
Man, that sounds painful.
No, you know what? It's not that bad. I mean, I drove down here on Thursday. We didn't shoot till Friday till 12 o'clock, so I pretty much dedicated the whole Thursday to driving down here. I had a good night's sleep. Same thing last night. We had a little party, but I made sure I was in bed by like 10:30. Shot 2 more stages today, and literally after we were done shooting, I pack up my stuff, jump in the car, shake everybody's hand, and left. So I'll be home at 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta work tomorrow, but I mean, it could have been worse. I could have been drinking all night with Alan, and then go to work.
Yeah, that would definitely be worse. Drinking all night with me just doesn't fare well for working the following day. You're like the only mofo that I know that can get it done, though.
Somebody just don't have a choice, so you gotta do what you gotta do. So Yeah, this was a great weekend. It was really humbling experience.
Oh,
And
why? Did you get your ass handed to you in the match, or?
well, I didn't really get my ass handed to me. I mean, I actually beat Rick on a couple of stages, and that was my only goal. You know,
Oh, set the bar high. Beat Rick.
I mean, I literally shot a handful of 3-guy matches in my life, and this was like one of the top tier matches. So yeah, it was definitely humbling experience. Once you start shooting AR and you're trying to hit something at 400 or 500 yards, yeah, it gets a little harder. But we had fun. The weather couldn't be better. You know, we had a great group. I mean, the whole thing. It was a great experience. Worth the almost 15-hour drive each way.
That's the main part. If you're enjoying the time with a bunch of guys you know and like, that's worth the whole trip.
Exactly. So I'm hoping to come down here again in the winter. This time I'm actually going to start looking for some business opportunities and maybe start looking at some houses. So hopefully 2 more years. 2 more years I'll be moving somewhere down in that area.
What, down to North Carolina?
Well, North Carolina, Tennessee, somewhere right there. Either one will do. I don't need to be by the ocean. I want to be more inland. So, you know, like border of North Carolina and Tennessee, either state will do. Tennessee's got a little better tax wise, but either one I'll be happy with. Kind of depends because you know, kind of have to look for the job for my wife as well. So it kind of boils down to that as well. So we'll see. Either one will be a lot better than New York.
Well, what you setting up there, Jamie?
You're muted, Jamie.
I'm setting up the Lee universal size and decap and die, and I got some brass that we picked up over the last couple of weeks. That this is 308. I'm just going to decap it and clean it and give it to some friends of mine. I don't shoot 308. I got some 6.5 Creedmoor that I'll be using. So that'll be fun. I think.
So apparently I was in odd form. I was watching a gun collective video, and there's a whole bunch of different guns coming out. But one of the ones that they were bagging on was a CZ. It's a version of, what was it? Like a PO like a PO7 or something. Wasn't a PO7, but it's leaning towards a P10F. It's a version of a P10F, but just micro. Going after the small pistol market.
Yeah, as soon as you gotta drop the ball on that shit.
Yeah, the thing that they're like kind of bagging on CZ for was that this micro carries 7 rounds. That everybody and their brother's going at least 10 right now. And CZ, for some reason, can't come up with something that's going to have 10 rounds in a subcompact.
Well, CZ lovers will buy it anyway, and they're gonna put a freaking mag extensions and brag about it. Meantime, the grips are gonna be twice as big as 365 for similar guns.
Those subcompacts, I mean, not everybody's X-ring and can shoot them at 100 yards consistently and hit steel. But how accurate is everybody else with those subcompacts?
Well, believe it or not, my LC9S Pro, I'm actually pretty accurate with that, and even at distance, I'm not too bad with that thing. And mainly, its main purpose is like deep concealment. So if I'm wearing something that I just really just want to look like I am not absolutely carrying anything, it's small, yeah, it's compact, and I shoot it pretty decently.
Yeah, a subcompact is more of a get off me gun. It's not gonna be something you're gonna be taking self-defense shots at 100 yards, you know. But you come up with a gun that's like 365 or 365 XL. Like for me, 365 XL pretty much replaced all my carry guns. That's pretty much the only gun I carry. I mean, it'll do everything the bigger gun will do. So why change it? I know some people change it in the winter for a bigger gun. I never really understood that. But like for me, I can do pretty much everything with that gun.
Well, I think the main philosophy for me, carrying a larger gun in winter, is just because it's easier to conceal. Because you're wearing your winter coats, whatever. It's easier to conceal a bigger gun during winter. You know, when it's summer, I'm not always walking around with my 10 millimeter 1911 on me. I only do that while I'm wearing a kilt and a Denny's.
Yeah.
So,
and nobody gave you any crap for that here, did they?
no. Nobody even mentioned it.
Yeah, and no one even took a second look at the gun either. I mean, they've got Amish here. They're used to seeing women with beards.
Well, everybody was concentrated on his head and legs under the kilt, so nobody noticed the gun probably.
Yeah. Not everybody wears guns around here. I mean, concealed or open carry. It's just the way it is here. Everybody does, and nobody cares.
So, Daniel, how many women have you dated that has a beard like Alan's?
I didn't date them, but at 2:00 in the morning, when the bar's getting ready to close, I will neither confirm nor deny, and if there's witnesses, they're already gone.
Yeah, Keith Gregory, the LC9S Pro. I'm kind of disappointed that Ruger got rid of that. That they're no longer manufacturing them, which is kind of why I went out and bought another one.
I have the original LC9, and although it wasn't a bad gun, the trigger on it really sucks. I still have it because it's my wife's gun and not really worth selling because they ain't gonna get a whole lot for it. So I was like, might as well keep it, for whatever reason.
See, there's a man with taste. Good to see you, Red October. Glad you could pop in with us. Man's got some class. That plus, I don't want to be, anywhere within throwing distance of him. Yeah, the first EC9s, those things were the triggers were terrible. You had to like pull them all the way back to your palm for one. They improved the trigger quite a bit when they went to the EC9S.
Yeah, I know that. I handled one. Definitely they did a lot of improvement. But surprisingly enough, even with that long, heavy trigger, my wife actually shot that gun pretty good. So, might as well keep it.
Yeah, I had gotten one for my wife at the time. She held it, and that's what she wanted. So that's what she got, and I was just like, this trigger is insane. It's just ridiculously long.
Too easy.
But
Too easy for that one. I'm not saying a thing.
Yeah. When they changed it to the S, is that not when they took it from a hammer fire to a striker fire?
That's absolutely correct. And in the process, they actually upgraded the trigger on it quite a bit, and it was a really cool feature in my opinion, because you'd go to shoot it and you could see the hammer. It was recessed in the back of the slide, so you could see the hammer coming up. You knew right when that thing was going to break, even just by looking at it.
Why does Red October want me to say Glocktard?
Well, I have a confession to make. I ordered the Glock.
What, not a Grand Power?
No, I ordered the Glock. I won the gift certificate at the last USPSA match, so I could pretty much order whatever Glock I wanted. There was certain stipulation if it's different than Gen 3. So I actually wind up with the Gen 5 G45. I think it was like a $75 upgrade. So I just sent all the paperwork like a week ago.
So is a G45 a 45?
No, it's not 45. It's basically 19X MOS in black.
You know, because they're Glock and they come out with real innovative shit like watches.
Yeah,
Anybody else hear that? Glock now has a wristwatch.
Yeah, Chuck Norris made a big commercial about it.
Oh, jeez.
You know the Glock guys will have it.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why. It's not even an aesthetically appealing watch.
Uh-huh.
Is it black and blocky?
Well, listen, the Glock itself is not aesthetically appealing gun either, yet they keep selling freaking millions of them. One thing you have to give a Glock, they put a lot back, you know, between a Blue Label program, how much they put back into shooting community. I mean, they sponsor a lot of shooting events, and they have their own Glock Sports Shooting Foundation, where you can actually win when you win guns. So you gotta hand it to them, at least in that department. Would be nice if they actually innovated a little bit.
Pistol Pete, nothing fancy as a 2-hour video comparing the Glock watch to a Casio. I wouldn't doubt it. I would absolutely not doubt that in the slightest. Yeah, here very shortly, I'm going to start going towards reloading 223 and 5.56. I've already started to accumulate little tools here and there. Picked up a set of Lee Ultimate dies. Just simply because Dylan's out of stock of everything right now, or else I would have already ordered another machine. And so now I'm going towards, okay, well, let me be able to do it single stage. Let me see if I can do it on my Lee turret. I'll do that too.
You can absolutely do it on a lead turret. You can crank out. If you got a lead turret press, you can crank out a lot a lot of 5.56 223 rounds fairly easy on that thing. I know I did. I still do sometimes. Especially if you wanna load up like a heavier round, 68, 75 grains, and actually wanna do like a precision ammo, where you gotta be a little more careful with weighing and everything, then you're probably best bet is something like a Elite Tourist Press. There's a bit of an inconsistency on that as far as the seating goes and whatnot, but I mean I don't think you're gonna be shooting 1,000 yards with a 223. So.
What? Why not?
Because it's not meant to be shot 1,000 rounds. That's why 1,000 yards. You could, but it's not really meant to be. What's fun in that? By the way, I shot a mile. No, I'm lying. I didn't shoot a mile. I tried to shoot a mile yesterday. I missed all 3 times. The wind was really, really bad. But Rick just discovered he went 3 for 3 at the mile. It was a 24 by 48 inch target. He hit 2 shots, and then the third one, he went for the 1 MOA. So that's 18-inch gong at 1 mile, and he nailed it.
Why does that surprise anybody in here?
Well, he got his long range game got like 1,000 times better. He was definitely right on it because he knew when he was talking about it as far as the wind goes and whatnot. So I gotta give him props for that. He still sucks with a pistol though.
Yeah, the Smith & Wesson watches, those things were nice actual timepieces. Yeah, lots of firearms manufacturers branch out into different things. I don't think I would buy a $50 SIG pen. No. K-bar eating utensils. Don't they just call that a K-bar?
That's a marine utility tool.
Yeah, it does everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll slice dice, it'll mince, and also cut the ears off your enemy, right?
Yeah, let alone sharpening them crayons. So, hey, Jamie.
Yes, sir.
You sure you don't want to do that trade?
Yeah. I'm sure.
I got to shoot one of Jamie's guns and I fell in love with it. That thing is, you can't miss with that gun. You shoot that gun, it hits nothing but X.
You can, but if you do, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Or you can be old like me and just can't see anymore. So,
I didn't see you miss the X.
well, my eyes and my shooting are not near as good as they used to be. I've noticed while y'all were here, I noticed that the stigmatism in my dominant eye is getting a lot worse. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but I got to find something to do. And I have a theory that I think Scotsman can help me fix. I think if I start learning to shoot with both eyes open, that'll alleviate some of that or all of it. So, yeah.
I thought with pistols, I was taught always keep both eyes open on that.
We'll see.
Yeah, and I wish I was taught that from the beginning, but I wasn't. And it's still every now and then I catch myself close an eye. It's been a hard habit to break over the years, to keep both eyes open shooting pistol.
Yeah, because I didn't even pick up pistol. What was it, early 2017 when I started shooting the pistols? So it was like everybody pretty much around me, not only in the panel, but, like Scotsman and other stuff like that. It's like, boom, both eyes open. Okay. Now, when I go up behind the rifle, I got to force myself to close my left eye.
FG23, what's up, buddy? And that's another thing, guys. I won't have any training. You know, when it
I found out that switching to red dot, especially on the pistol, helped tremendously with keeping the both eyes open. With if you're just working with the iron sight, you constantly have to remind yourself. With the red dot, it's pretty much it just clicks in, and then when you switch back to iron sight and unless you have like a target sight, if you have like a fiber optic front or gold bead or something, your brain just automatically, both eyes open.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, the natural instinct to keep both eyes open with a red dot is positively one thing. But even people that I've been working with on training them to shoot, even with the red dots, I'll see them like closing the eye. I'm like, nope, leave them both open. What? I'm like, leave it both open. And they're like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing now. I get it. And it's old habits for them as well. But I get what you're saying. Your eye naturally wants to gravitate to that one red dot, even with both eyes open.
Yeah, plus it teaches you kind of a soft focus because basically like a hardcore target shooters, I used to for like a really focus on the front side for a bullseye shooting or something like that. Once you get into action shooting or actual like a live shooting that you need, you're not gonna be having that crisp sight picture and all that. So at that point, you're kind of looking at the target, and you're kind of in between. You're not 100% target focused, but you're not 100% focused on the front sight. So that kind of helps you as well.
Thorzax, do you thread a needle with one eye closed? Good analogy. But when I was a kid and I was threading needles for my grandmother all the time, when I was having trouble threading the needle, yes, I would close one eye. And even now, if I do all my own suturing, so if need be, and yeah, if I'm having trouble, yeah, I'll close one eye.
Oh, you're gonna do that in a pistol shooting too. If you have to do 25 yard precise shot, I'm talking, I don't know, 6-inch steel at 25 yards. There's a chance you're gonna close one eye just to get that much more focus. But that's normal. But for the regular shooting, once you get used to it, used to not closing the eye, it just becomes normal. It's just that it's so much harder to do it with the jobs with the eye on the side if you're not taught from the beginning.
Idaho Rogers be sounding like AOK Foraging and Adventures.
So you can step it up a notch with the whole both eyes open. Then when you transfer and shoot weak hand, and you got to use your left eye.
That's how I feel, Idaho. Really, I do sometimes with pistol. And I'm gonna call on these guys. I got a theory about what's going on with this brass right here, but what happens with me, particularly after I've been shooting for about an hour and a half or so, and my eyes start getting tired from the concentration, is when I'm looking down the well, if I'm using rifle, when I'm looking through the scope, it's like the target is vibrating back and forth like that, and that's just classic stigmatism. And I got a couple of comments about it on my. I got a couple of comments on my pitiful shooting last video I did, and I think it was at 100 yards. So that kind of stuff can take a 3/4 inch group and blow it up to a 2.5, 3 inch group in just a minute. So I'm gonna have to talk to my doctor and see what's going on with that. But all right, I'm depriming 308 brass, and y'all probably aren't going to be able to see this, but these right here I did not deprime. These are MAL 7.62. So I tried to run them through the sizing die, the deprimer, and I got to the primer and it stopped. So I took my flashlight and I looked down in there, and instead of one hole in the center of the case, what I get, and I know y'all can't see it, but there's some, you look down in there and it looks like snake eyes. There's two smaller holes side by side. That's a bird and primer, and it will break your stuff. That's bad on your equipment. Another thing I'm running to, and these are just 308 brass that was picked up at when we were all together shooting. This one is Lake City, and I haven't deprimed it yet. But if you look right there, if you can look up there close, there seems to be a ring around the primer, and I would guess that would be the crimp in the military brass. Well, what it actually looks like to me is kind of an adapter. Can y'all ain't gonna be able to see that, can you?
I'll see it now. You're enlarged.
Little bit, yeah.
There's actually a ring around the primer right there. All right, you can see it better on one that I've already deprimed, I think. Let's see. All right, naturally 308 is a large rifle primer, but if my camera was a little better. Anyway, inside the primer pocket there's a ring right there, and it's not the crimp. It's not the crimp of the thing. Hey, Chico. I think these pieces of brass have been converted because I got to wondering about it, and I caught one when it come out. And let me grab this. This is the primer that came out of that case right there I was just showing y'all. And if y'all can see that, it's bowed up pretty bad. But come on, focus. The focus is among us. Ain't gonna do it.
It's not just a standard large rifle primer.
No, it's not. Matter of fact, it just about fits inside a large rifle primer. Right there, you see that's a large rifle primer on the bottom and the one that came out of there on the top. So maybe it is just the crimp, or maybe it's been converted to take a small primer. I don't know. But one thing that's going to keep you from being able to tell that easily is the way these primers are misshaped after it's been through the depriming process. And you can see it's poked out the back really bad and all that crap. But could be it's just a crimp in there. But these right here are these are bird and prime, so they're going in the recycle bin.
Yeah, you just lost somebody else there.
And I got to meet up with Thoughts of an Old Soldier yesterday, and he blessed me with a couple of his autographed books, and I treasure those.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to being able to sit down with a cup of coffee and actually reading those. That's going to be a blessing. So I didn't quite have as many 308s as I thought I did. We'll throw those in the
So
cleaner.
primer pocket swaging. What do you rifle reloaders are using for pocket swaging?
On the cheap, you go to Home Depot, you buy yourself a 3-pack of Ryobi glass drill bits. They look like a little arrowhead, and you use the metal one, and it actually works like a charm, and it makes the new primer seat so much nicer. If you don't, or you can buy a Dillon tool or something like that. But those depends on how. If you're looking for like a really big production, then you gotta step your press up to like a 1050 or something. But if you're just gonna do small batches, this is your best bet. Little drill bit, boom. I have a video from 2 years ago or something where I show what I did.
Yeah, I think I ran across that even this weekend. I think you're getting a phone call, by the way.
That's his life alert going off. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. This is a speed trap up ahead.
The lineman, huh? Just put it in a drill. I mean, there's so many different things out there, and yeah, I get carried away when it comes to acquiring different tools and so forth. I kind of want to be able to do big batches, but I'm going to be able to do that once I end up finally getting a Dillon. So I'm going to be doing semi-smaller batches in the meanwhile. A knurled reamer by Lyman. Okay.
Not to mention that you can't find primers anyway, so might as well just keep working on the brass.
Well, and that was going to be another one of my questions. I mean, small rifle primers. I mean, I've heard a lot of guys talking about, you don't want to use CCI 400s. They're too light. They're like too soft of a primer.
What?
That, the military is 410, CCI 410s. But most, a lot of guys using like 450s. You're kind of giving me the stink eye there, Daniel.
That's not me, Alan. That's
no, Val's kind of breaking up a little bit there.
You're being jammed, but Jamie can tell you.
What are we talking about?
Small rifle, CCI, small rifle primers. People have been telling Alan those ain't good for 223 and 5.56.
For like CCI 400s, that they're a little too soft.
Who said
410
that?
is actually the military version, but the 450 is what most people are directing me towards.
It's not a 410, it's a 41. Hold on a minute, I got some of them. I'll show you the difference.
That's what it is. Yeah, 41 is the military.
But before I do that, Chico, they are not magnetic, bro. And I didn't think there was. So that means they're real brass. So hold on, let me get some. I'll show you the difference. And I just bought some this weekend, so give me 1 second.
Yeah, I always thought CCI was one of the harder primers.
I use
Yeah,
3CI in the air without any issue. I mean, unless you're really gonna be shooting full auto or some crap like that, I don't think you're gonna have an issue. You really don't need that military grade primers, those 41.
Because
I
I
might
use
be able to get a
those.
hold of 400s, but if they're gonna, if those are gonna be okay, I can probably get a hold of those.
Yeah, I've been shooting them out of my 300 blackout, and the parent case for that's the 223. So I've never had an issue with it.
Now
Yeah,
they're gonna be
my happy ass gets a little.
That,
My happy ass gets a little carried away when it comes to picking up tools. So,
All right. Show me that again. What have you
that
got?
dog mounted up.
Show me that again, please. Okay.
Yeah,
deal.
just the regular super swage. So yeah, I get a little carried away when I dive into something, and being so I've never actually loaded for rifle before, I'm going to try to do it a number of different ways, and hopefully at some point, I'll be able to actually do the majority of stuff just on the Dillon.
Now, one thing it might save you a lot of brass and aggravation: buy the Lee Factory Crimping Die. Don't try to do it both on one step as far as pushing the bullet into length and crimp. Just get the Lee Factory Crimp Die for it.
What I've got so far is the Lee Ultimate die set. So it's got a factory crimp die in it. It's the full 4 set.
Yeah. You're spending money like you're a single man.
It's good that I'm single then. Well, at least not married.
Do y'all want to talk about primers, or do you want to talk about swaging first?
Well, I brought up swaging first, so, and you were talking about them primers, and I figured if you're popping out a separate collar, you're going to be wanting to swage them things.
Well, there's two schools of thought on swaging. Number one, hey AR Gun 1776, and Buzz, I understand that Pam is a spoken for woman. So
and there's Cranky Cletus.
Yes.
And Pamela Earp. So what are these schools of thought, sir?
Number one, do we want to move that crimp out of the way, or do we want to remove that brass out of the way? And when I say that, you can that tool you have is actually going to bend the brass and swage it, as in we're going to force that brass out of the way of our primers and out of the way of our primer pocket so that we can put our primer in. The other school of thought is to cut the brass, cut the crimp out of it so that it's gone and out of the way, and we can fit a new primer in that primer pocket. Different guys will take a stand on the different schools of thought and the different methods. I've always cut mine and just grind that crimp out of there, because I don't want to have to deal with it coming back anymore. And maybe if you swaged it, maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. I don't know. I've never tried that. But I have picked up a RCBS swager that works in the press. So I'll be trying that out here for the first time. But I've always cut the primer, cut that crimp out for the primer, because my initial thought was, number one, grinding it out of there, cutting it out of there is the equipment's cheaper. And number two, I've always felt like if I cut it, it ain't coming back. But if I swage it and shoot it enough, it might. I don't know. I've never tried it. But AR says he cuts the crimp, and swage he don't like. So y'all guys pop in and tell us. Chico Wise says he does it both ways. He uses the RCBS swage kit mostly. And I think I've got that over here if I can show y'all the different the ways that you can do it. But we'll get to that later. We'll come back to that. Next, we're going to talk about primers. And you guys can help us out here and tell us what y'all think. 5.56. If you look at this box, this is your CCI number 41 primers. It says for 5.56 ammunition, small rifle military primers. So if you're loading 5.56 to military pressures, you need these primers. Also, you can get the Federal AR small rifle match primers. If you're shooting an AR and you want as accurate a load as you can get, you probably need these primers. These are the ones I just bought yesterday, and I didn't know when I bought them, but these are Magnum. They're number 450s. The 400s are just the regular small rifle primers. That's my thoughts exactly, Michael. Cut it. Don't worry about it no more. But the regular small rifle primers for 223, the number 400s, should be sufficient for 223 pressures. But if you're loading them up to 5.56 and you really want that military pressure and that chunk in your rifle like that, then you probably need those 41s. I don't want to beat my rifle no more than I have to, so I typically don't load to 5.56 pressures. And you'll need military cases to achieve those pressures safely. So those are my thoughts. You guys may agree or disagree. If so, let us know. Comment in the side chat. Tell me I'm wrong.
Michael Hurtneck's asking you about the price of them primers you just picked up.
Okay, take a look at this box again. The price tag's on there, down at the bottom. I bought those primers probably 4 years ago. These right here were, let's say, 3 times that price. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 to 11 bucks. Now, growing up, I've always noticed when you're loading them rifle cartridges to the max pressures, your brass tends to split. You might get 1 or 2 shots out of your brass, and then it's junk.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah, I don't like loading anything to the max anyway. I really never saw the reason, especially if you're gonna be doing most of the blinking ammo. So at that point, you can pretty much use any brass that you have and whatever rifle primers you find. And the nice thing about those CCI, they'll actually work in pretty much any hammer-fired pistol cartridge as well. Like they'll work just fine in 1911 CZs, maybe even some striker fire. Depends on the gun. Just saying.
Michael, these primers cost me $90 for 1,000 of them. And the only reason I did it was because there was a buddy of mine who was with me and he wanted to split the case, so split the brick. So basically I bought 500 primers for $45. and now they're all gone. So it's one of them things. Hey, they're here right now. If you want them for this price, you can get them. And
Yeah, all the manufacturers are they're pumping all their primers into full cartridges. So they get more money that way instead of piece parting them out. That's the word that I'm getting.
That's what I'm hearing, and that's the reason I've been led to tell y'all on more than one occasion here on this chat and on mine on Friday nights. Primer prices are not going to go back down until you can walk in a gun store and see almost any caliber cartridge of loaded factory ammunition on the shelves to sell. Then you'll start finding primers for somewhat of a more decent price. But yeah. I agree, Scotsman. And they were there. They were available. This is what they cost. If you want them, you can get them. I got them. And that's that.
Yeah, ultimately, right at the moment, it's gonna matter more of just what I can actually get. If I can get the 41s, great. If I can get the 400s, great. If I can get the 450s, great. You know, it if I can get Winchester or Remington, okay, great. It's really just going to boil down to right at the moment whatever is available.
So on our journeys this week, I bought some used dies. I bought 2 boxes, 2 sets. I thought what I was buying was a set of 45 ACP and a set of 308 dies. But in one of those boxes, we have here is this is a RCBS sizing die, but it's basically the RCBS wage kit. I don't know if there's another die. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. But basically what goes on is, and I'm still learning about it. You have this thing, which is basically a metal cap with a hole in the top, and then you have this thing that goes, this little punch that goes in where your shell holder goes. And I've not had it long enough to figure out really how to use it, but I think that's how it works. Put it like that, and then yeah. I think most any die body like this will work just to get it out of there. And I think they were using this 45 ACP because it's big enough to that the cases will fit up in there without any problem. So yeah, I'm still learning about that.
I would just like to thank Pops for making me feel so inadequate. I thought I was doing good at 10,000 per, and he comes up there with 250,000. Scotsman, midnight run to South Carolina.
These old dies I bought, they're rough. Y'all can look and see they're nasty, rusty, but I paid $10 for them. So,
But they'll clean up though, huh?
oh yeah, Edge Red's a wonderful thing.
Little WD-40 will fix that.
I don't think I've got WD-40 in my house, Val.
What?
I use
Come on,
Is it
come on. There's two tools every man needs: a duct tape
duct tape?
and WD-40. If it moves and it shouldn't, use the duct tape. And if it doesn't and it should, use the freaking WD-40. Done.
well, I got the duct tape, but I found something better than WD-40, and that's what I use. And that's either Edge Red that I mix up myself or Arrow Croil. Y'all know Croil? Kroil. I love that stuff, and it has taken it's taken WD-40's spot in my house. So I kind of like that one better. It's really not New York Outcast. WD-40 lacks a lot.
No, I used to keep a can of WD-40 in my old 74 Monte Carlo because for some reason you get into any wet and water would get up in that distributor cap. So I'd just go in, open it up, spray it out, throw the cap back on, and she'd run.
Well, you got to let it fume out though because it's flammable. It
Yeah.
will. And Croil's probably going to be worse in that respect as far as a spark setting it off and igniting it.
Did you learn the hard way on that one there, Jamie?
Let's just say I was watching a guy do this once. Coca-Cola and lemon takes off rust. I bet it does. I've also seen guys on these videos, and Alan and me watch one of the same guys. I forget his name now. Car guy.
Derek, Vice Grip Garage.
Yeah, and I also like to watch Resurrected or whatever that is. That's a good show. I like their stuff. But these guys will take locked up motors that have been sitting for years, and they'll squirt some like Croil or WD-40 down in there and see if they can get it loose real quick. But when it comes time to dang Midas, bummer, dude. So WD-40 won't light on fire no more. You have to get Aquanet hairspray for that. So you gotta know these things because Halloween's coming up, right? You need a torch, dude. Anyway, yeah, man. They'll pour vinegar down and they will take all spark plugs out, pour vinegar down in that motor until it's running out the spark plug holes, and let it sit overnight. And then when they get underneath that car and drain it out from the oil pan, man, it looks like rust water. I mean, that's what it is basically. But it's amazing to me that plain old vinegar will cut rust too.
Yeah, but you really got to get that thing lubed up after that. I mean,
Pretty quick.
yeah,
right?
you could probably take them dyes, throw it in a sonic cleaner, and then coat them down with Croil, and you're good. Or even the same lube that you use for your cases.
What I'm thinking about doing is just putting them in my wet tumbler with the steel pins. Let them run for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, and then take them out of that, let them dry, and then spray the Croil on there and get a wire brush if I need to knock the loose stuff off. Yeah, they'll clean up well. They'll look good. Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen those videos I did with the rock chucker presses, but rust is not that hard to get off if it's just Well, even if it's pitted, you can still get the rust off of it. But you get pitted metal. Well, I got one right here somewhere. Here's one.
Oh yeah, AR contact cleaner's good stuff. I mean, you guys are old school doing 3-in-1 oil.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
about
one.
old school.
This handle right here, which you can see now, is nice and shiny. Well, it's already got some coming back on there. But yeah, I got it pretty clean with edge red and Croil, and then a little bit of oil, a little bit of grease, and this is going to be G23's press here, hopefully by the end of this week or next week.
I like that old Swin bicycle grip you got on there.
That's pretty cool, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's the way it came, man. That's the way I got it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that big asshole bastard. That'll chuck it out.
Well, that's the Rock Chucker Junior 3, and if you can see that one, that's an old vintage Rock Chucker. So love that thing. Willie sent it to me, so thanks, Willie. If you're still up, probably not. He said he's going to bed. But those are my thoughts on swaging and primers for 223. If you're just going to load up 223 standard pressure, those CCI 400s or the Winchester small rifle, any of those ought to be fine. If you're getting on up in pressure or you want better accuracy, then you might want to get a harder primer like the 41s or the match. But you don't have to. You can get good accuracy.
No, the mass majority of the brass I got's all 5.56 brass. But I don't expect to be loading up at hot pressures. Not for the majority of the stuff I'd be doing. And definitely not building like precision loads, because I don't shoot precision. I don't shoot distance much. Not like you're going to shoot major distance with an AR anyway.
Oh, really? You
Well,
can.
I know you can, but it's not. I mean, you're gonna bust out the 30-06 or something 308 before you really are loading it up for 223.
I
would figure I wouldn't want to be going out 500 plus yards on a regular basis with a 5.56. Well, if I had the availability of a 308.
I seen this guy. He had a brand new, freshly built AR-10 in 6.5 Creedmoor, and I saw him walk it out to 1,000 yards. Bang! I mean, the barrel not even broke in.
Oh, 6.5.
And the next guy that came up and behind him.
1,000 yards with a 6.5 is not that hard.
Go ahead.
It's 1,000 yards with a 6.5, even at a semi-auto, is not that hard as long as it's a decent rifle. But yeah, you're not. Realistically, you playing and you're doing whatever. Even in an SHTF, you ain't gonna be shooting freaking people at 300 yards with the AR, because eventually SHTF is over and you have to explain yourself. So at that point you're not defending your life or defending your property or anything like that. So.
I could probably hit 6. I could probably hit 6, no problem with that guy, especially with the chunk of brass, the chunk of glass that's on top of it. At 600, that chunk of glass makes it look like it's 25 feet away from me.
That C-Max rifle I personally have hit 8-inch steel at 600 yards, and yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and that rifle Jamie's talking about, I shot it and I blew the third shot, but my first two shots were pretty much making one hole. And I got all uppity, was wanting to put the third shot right in there, but I dropped it about 8 inches. But you got a good equipment, you got good glass, shooting 1,000 yards. It's not hard off of a rest.
And Idaho's right. 223 is easier than you think, major distance. And Reloader 762 CMP service rifle max. They do it all the time. And that stuff, that amazes me because that's with no glass. Most of that stuff is iron sights.
Iron sight. Yeah.
They shoot out to 600. Shoot, man, Dave Thorzak's does it, or used to. I don't know if he still does, but yeah, they shoot way out there with iron sights and standing, not off of no bench. I mean, freehand. Of course, they know what they're doing. I could never do that, but those guys, they're awesome, man.
Well, bummer. Val dropped out. He must have been going through a bad spot. Hey,
Yeah,
he's
well, here
back.
he comes back.
I'm on a highway in the middle of the goddamn Virginia. I don't understand why I'm having issues with the signal.
They're switching cell towers.
For the money I'm paying for this freaking phone and service, this thing should be working in the middle of the ocean.
I think there's usually issues when you leave in one cell tower, then the next cell tower picks you up. They can mess you up a little bit.
I don't know.
Of course, I could shoot a lot better when I was younger too. So, yeah, our eyes.
I always thought that I shot better billiards after 3 or 4 beers.
Wow, that's different. For that game, you kind of have to be buzzed up anyway. That's the whole point.
I can throw one hell of a dart match after about 5 whiskeys. Or at least I think I can.
I should think maybe they on the DUI test they should have a dartboard in the back of the Stady.
No, because I can't throw the darts when I'm freaking sober.
Vanessa wants to know what cell phone company you use.
AT&T.
Oh, well, dang, man.
He's on
I
Ghetto
tried-
Mobile.
I tried all the companies. AT&T actually works out the best. I had the best coverage throughout the U.S. and in Europe.
And Europe.
And Europe, yeah, your phone works in Europe, no problem. So
Bald
Yeah.
and Curious, international man of mystery.
there you go.
Yeah, Anna Lee had an ex that couldn't shoot pool unless he was drunk. It's sort of like me. I can't dance unless I'm drunk.
Well, it's
Dance.
not that you can't dance unless you're drunk. It's just once you're drunk, you don't care. There's a difference.
But what I want to know is who told you could dance when you're drunk?
Well, that's pretty much what I just said. Come on, jackass.
So
Someone's
that's it.
hogging up the left lane on him.
Nah,
Yeah,
put me a different way. I'm going up 85, and then
He's max headrooming.
So Daniel, apparently on your guys' road trip, you had a lot of dad jokes that you were finally just like destroying Scotsman with. He was just getting really tired of it. You got any dad jokes for us or?
Oh, okay. Well, the first one I hit him with was, "What's got 4 legs? It's green and it's fuzzy, and if it falls out of a tree, it'll kill you." A pool
What's
table. A pool table.
that?
Why didn't the skeleton cross the road?
Why didn't he?
No guts. I mean, just like that. Now, look, he's making sure everybody sees it. I showed him on the second day, and it's like, hey, look, it's not an app. It's actually a channel on, I don't know where you get all the music from. This guy puts up daily dad jokes, and I'd be sitting there with my headphones on, listening to him,
Well,
and just start rattling off.
So you know what the difference is between a pregnant girl and a light bulb? You can unscrew a light bulb.
Yeah, you can't unscrew the pregnant girl. Heck, that's the first thing a dad tells his 16-year-old kid before he goes out on his first date.
What has 148 teeth and holds back a monster? My zipper.
That's a lie. So those aren't those. Yeah, those ain't dad jokes. Those are bar jokes.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, dad jokes are. That's the difference. They're you don't mind telling them to your kids.
Yeah. If you can tell a joke in church, it's a dad joke.
Oh, well, you know, a 7-year-old telling you these jokes is even funnier, though.
Oh, yeah? You got a 7-year-old telling you, what has 148 teeth?
Yeah.
Couldn't you see a 7-year-old asking his kindergarten teacher that?
Or his pastor. The pastor would love that one, right?
Oh, my gosh. I was the kid that actually did that to the pastor's son. Told him one of those jokes when I was a little kid.
And he repeated it at the supper table and got his mouth smacked.
Oh, no. No, the pastor's son was actually, he was like a teenager, and I was just a little kid. He was just being a good teenager, listening to a young kid running his mouth. People dropping like flies. Okay, we got to stop with the dad jokes. Well, you know what's creepy? When you wake up and Scotsman's filming you.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's creepy.
I can't believe people want to hear dad jokes.
Well, according to Scotsman's poll, 53% over 46%. I'll just give one more. What? How do you make a waterbed more bouncy? You add spring water.
Why are elevators jokes so good? They work at all levels.
Hey,
you're actually laughing at these things.
Hey, what does pasta and the women have in common?
What?
What does pasta and the women have in common? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know the answer to that one. Something probably about they get all limp when they're wet or something. I don't know.
No, they both wiggle when you eat them.
Plug your ears, Jamie.
What?
Oh.
So if primers and all components are so damn difficult to find, how is it that you can still go to even any Walmart and pick up shotgun loads?
Because the manufacturer makes more money selling the whole cartridge.
Well, but at least I never seen a shortage on shotgun rounds. When everything else was out on the shelf, there was still shotgun rounds to be had. Now, maybe not exactly what you were looking to get. Maybe there wasn't any double-aught buck that week, but they had plenty of other things. I personally never saw a shortage of shotgun rounds.
I have.
Am I the only one? Did we just have plenty here in Iowa or something?
Yeah, maybe, because I've been able to pick up 12 gauge, and I'm talking about the 100 round bricks, and they used to be like $21, $22. Last time I found one, they were $29.99. Pam says she no shotgun shells. Michael has them. Yeah, that's true, Scotsman. Walmart buys stuff by mega 2 or 3 truckloads at a time. I'm sure Idaho can tell us about that. But 6.5 and 2.23 and 22 in the gun shop yesterday. Pretty cool. Yeah, 410 is pretty extinct. The only thing that I'm seeing lately is 28 gauge. And I've been really wanting some 16 gauge because I acquired I had to make a trade, but I acquired a different shotgun creature. So I found a 16 gauge side by side double barrel. And I'm trying to work a trade on that. So I wanted some 16 gauge, but they were nowhere to be found.
Well, minus mentioning 410 there, yeah. I've seen some 410, but I haven't seen a ton of it. That seemed to go faster, and I don't know if it's popularity of the judges or whatever. But still, at least in my area, 20 gauge, 12 gauge. I've never even really looked for 16 gauge. But it was, the prices did go up for regular birdshot crap. Whatever. But if you're just killing clay pigeons.
Dang, Scotsman. Yeah, Idaho ain't wrong, man.
No, he's not. I mean, we had a massive influx of people buying firearms. And then on top of that, everybody that already had them knew what was coming. And so people were swooping up on things as fast as they could.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed about 410 is, and AR was saying earlier that 410 was his first. I think, and New York Outcast ain't seen 20. I think most of our first shotguns were 410. G23 is on the West Coast, but I think he's been finding 410, but not 45. He's got the Judge. Yeah, I'm thinking I might want one of those Tristar 12 gauge semi-automatics. I never thought I'd want to buy a Turkish shotgun, and then Gene put a video out where he bought one, and he used
Turkish makes good shotguns.
They dang sure do.
they absolutely make a fine shotgun, and Tristar, if I recall properly, Tristar was one of the companies that helped out with the child or the kids builds for Justin's Final Mission stuff. I think they actually contributed a complete kid size shotgun. I know Scotsman can remind me in the side chat, but they ponied up. I think Scotsman hit them up, and they just straight up ponied up a full child length shotgun for that purpose. So I mean, decent company.
Dang, AR. Those are good shotguns too. Those FIEs. There's a friend of mine that's got a FIE 20 gauge, and it's like AR said. Yes, they are imported, and I can't remember where. But my buddy, he's a Shriner, and he goes to their turkey shoots, and he wins hams and turkeys every single year with that old single shot FIE 20 gauge shotgun. That thing's out shooting 12 gauges. Yeah, I can't remember where that. It seems like he said Brazil. Like, but yes, I can't agree more, Alan and Scotsman. We need to support the companies that support what we do, and we try to support you guys who are watching. And when you guys have a problem, and we step up and try to help you guys out. We need to remember these companies that have gone out of their way to support you and those efforts that we do. And yeah, man, and not just that, but those turkey shotguns are as nice as any that's being made right now. Maybe not your top end Benellis and Brownings, but maybe they are. Maybe they are just as nice, and maybe they cost 1/4 what those big name high dollar guns cost. So I don't know. I've not shot them. I'd really like to have an over under for birds. Skeet shooting, clay pigeons, that kind of thing. But I ain't gonna pay $2,000 for a shotgun that I'm gonna shoot once or twice a year. I would if I was one of these guys that's going out shooting these skeet courses every weekend, like doing the same thing Val and those guys are doing in pistol and 3-gun and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd spend the money, but until then, I think one of those turkey shotguns would do quite well, just no more than I shoot one.
Yeah, if I was doing competition, it'd be another story. It would be leaning towards like Bernelli, whatever. But those Turkish shotguns have already really built a name for themselves.
They really have.
And Tristar is on the least expensive, the less expensive side of the coin. But from what I understand, they build a mighty fine shotgun.
Well,
I don't think I wouldn't be going out there in competition with, a side by side or an over and under. Then again, those guys with the long dongs out in front, it looks silly as hell. I get the purpose. I totally understand.
Well, you remember back long years ago, there was a new company stepped up in the semi-automatic shotgun market called called Frenchie. Y'all remember Frenchie when they first came out? They were okay, but now they're a premium model, and I suspect Tristar would do the same thing. I've not.
Alan, there's a competition for the guys that shoot over and under as well. You'd be surprised the money those guys drop on a shotgun. The sport clay shooters, you're talking you're talking $5,000-$6,000 easy for the shotgun.
Yeah. I would not underestimate that in the slightest. I know the guys that shoot side by side or over unders, the guys that are serious about that, they've got some nice hardware.
I was really impressed with Gene's videos on that. I'm sorry, reloading from the hot pot. Y'all all know Gene. I don't think I have to say that, but anyway, his videos on that Tristar semi-auto kind of pretty much sold me on those. And how cool is that, man?
That's a reloading from the hot pot coaster.
Good to see Midas out there, ain't it, fellas?
Well, Midas is stepping away. We could start talking crap.
Yeah.
Midas,
what you eating?
Still listening.
What you fixing us, Midas? He's not going to come back. He had a nice video out there. He painted that AK up there, had it hidden on the kitchen counter. They're in plain sight.
Oh, Midas has been cranking out the videos, man.
I wonder, does TriStar make 1911s? I guess everybody pretty much makes 1911s if you're in the gun business now. What do you think, Daniel? Do you know?
All I know is CZ bought Colt, the original manufacturer of 1911s. So I know the quality for Colt's pistols are going to be going up.
Yeah, TriStar makes some gorgeous, either case hardened side by sides or even engraved stuff that I'd be all over that.
Do you think, since CZ bought them, do you think they're going to be able to make a single action army 4 3/4 inch for anything less than $1,850? I mean, seriously,
hey,
Colt?
CZ's starting price is around $550 on their pistols. And they make economical shotguns too, but getting into those old Colts, are they going to start making those? I don't know. We'll see.
The TriStar pistol line, a lot of it reminds me of CZ stuff. It really does. You get up like into the, what are they? The 110, 120 series pistols. And they look a lot like, kind of like a hybrid between a Shadow and a 1911. They're good looking pistols. I've never shot one of their pistols. I've never even shot one of their shotguns before.
Now, where's TriStar out of? What country?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yes.
Well, some of these other countries that don't have all these environmental protection stuff going, I could see your case hardened and your bluing. Some of they're probably going to be beating America's looks as far as the case hardening and the bluing, because they can still use the good chemicals.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they're not restricted They can use the old school stuff, especially in that bluing.
That's an interesting theory. That would require thought.
Not only that, but most of these Turkish companies, they just pretty much steal the design. I guess the certain laws don't apply over there. Just like Koenig is pretty much a copy of PPQ. Same goes for the Tristar. A lot of their guns is just a copy of some other gun. I mean, they might tweak a couple of things here and there, but general design would be the same thing. I'm not saying they're bad guns. I'm just saying that's one of the reasons why they're so cheap. But that Tristar, the AI-looking shotgun, I actually wish I could have one in New York because it sure looks cool.
Those right now, those things seem to be all that anybody wants to sell you about. You know, when you they're just everywhere. Those you're talking about the AR and AK type semi-auto shotguns.
Yeah, unfortunately, they come with a pistol grip and removable magazine that makes it illegal for the New York State.
Yeah, I'd almost be able to be afraid to shoot slugs out of one of those things because they're so light. That'd be painful.
Wow, you're 5 feet tall and 30 pounds soaking wet, so shooting slugs for you out of anything is painful.
Yeah, you get some. There's some good semi-automatics. They got a little bit more weight to them.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that weight has got nothing to go against.
Hey, when you deck it with the first shot, you don't need a follow-up shot. Plenty of time for first aid.
I'm not the one who's complaining about a freaking follow-up shot.
Well, you don't need a follow-up shot with the regular. Because, I mean, you got to witness me shooting a slug at 100 yards there and hitting the steel. I didn't fall down.
Of the back.
Out of the back. No, I was standing behind the van.
Yeah, who was standing behind you? You know we don't
nobody.
We know we don't trust your videos. There's a lot of freaking weird crap going on.
No, it wasn't.
You look weird angles and all
Rich
that.
Was in
trying to make yourself look tall. We know all that. All right. We already have.
Yeah, you keep the camera low, angled up. You look taller.
I don't need that.
Not with that stuff Scotsman's pull. Yeah. Now you're tall. You're tall. We'll give you that. And might as well be likes biting your ankles. That was a pretty funny video. Oh man, but yeah, I wish I was down there that year. I just couldn't make it. But the one thing, if you guys in the side chat or anything ever get a chance to hook up with anybody, go do it. Start networking with people.
Well, let's replace the word hook up with word meet up. Okay, you don't necessarily have to hook up.
It'll change your life forever to go out and meet some of our fellow YouTubers. It's changed me in the way I look at things. And I agree with New York Outcast. 12 gauge is incredible for blowing off steam and releasing some stress.
And that's not necessarily when you're having the wife shooting high bass brass with it. And you get the laugh at her. Oh, that just went on forever, Midas. You did not give up.
Dang, Idaho, I'd say you become a blessed man, but I'm telling you, Y'all two need to quit arguing out in public like that. Heck dang, dude. Oh.
I feel left out because I can't see the chat.
New York at. Well, Val, you need to hook up with New York Outcast and do a road trip out here.
No. I do not need to hook up
It'll
with
give
him.
you a taste of freedom.
No, we need to meet.
Okay, meet up with him.
I got to meet up with him. I'm sure he's a good-looking gentleman, but I don't swing that way, so I don't need to hook up with him.
You got to understand, there's two ways of saying hook up, which gives it totally different meanings.
I don't know. The way you say it doesn't sound the way I like it. But I definitely got to meet up with a New York Outcast. I don't think he's that far from me. You know, as soon as he gets vaccinated, I'll invite him to my house.
What?
But he's still gonna have to wear a mask.
Don't even. That's a dirty word around here because my uncle, right? He's got both the pokes, and he turned around, and a month after he got the second poke, he got the COVID, and now he has to be under 24/7 care.
You know what's sad? Driving down the freaking road, and like especially in south of North Carolina, I see all these posters. Nothing about, oh, this shot is a freedom. This shot, because of this shot, I can hug my daughter. They nothing but pro-vaccine and all that. I don't understand why they gotta push it so much.
Money. It's money and control. But you take a look at the people that haven't had the pokey.
There's not that many people that didn't have it, all things considered. Okay, so it shouldn't be. There's no a logical reason why they should be pushing it so much. And you turn on the radio, whatever you turn on the radio, you got commercials on it all the time. Mm-hmm. So the virus is so deadly that you need a test to know if you have or had it. And the vaccine is so efficient that they make you take it.
Yeah, it's so efficient that 85% of the new cases are from people that have gotten both pokes.
That's not what they're claiming. They're claiming, I guess, at least commercials in South Carolina were like hospitals are overwhelmed. 90% of people in the hospitals are not vaccinated. Blah 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 blah. Then you go to a Ben Swan and you listen to him, and he's talking about Israel where 90% of the population has got all the vaccination, and the vaccines are only 30% effective now against the new strain. So it's like, I don't know. There's so much misinformation out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, try to keep everybody confused, keep everybody on their toes. That way, once it gets closer to the election cycle, they can lock things down again. Oh, new deadlier virus version has come out. And everybody needs to quarantine and send in their votes via email or yeah, it worked the first time. They think it's gonna work the second time.
I don't know. To be honest, I'm with all this crap going on and how long it's going on. I'm scared for the future. I'm scared for the kids. I'm scared. Is this the new normal? Is this the way we're gonna live for the rest of our lives? You know, a lot of people simply don't mind masks anymore. They pretty much wear them everywhere, including the freaking toilet. Something simply doesn't make any sense. And it just goes to show you how dumb people are, and they just follow whatever they are being told without questioning it.
Oh, yeah. Over and over and over again, you'll see politicians from around the globe that will come out of meetings and nobody's wearing their masks on. Nobody's got masks on until they see the cameras. Oh, see the cameras. All right, we got to pull these out and put these things on. It's fucking malarkey. You know, it's a huge influence not only in the U.S. elections, but just controlling the human race across the globe. So why not go along with it? And we see politicians in countries all over the place doing the same exact thing.
Oh, politicians always do what the politicians do. I'm talking about regular people. Like with all when the whole COVID started, and you start thinking about it, like numbers don't add up. You know, numbers don't add up. I mean, for crying out loud, we've been 2 years into this, and I know a handful of people that had it, and every single one of them got over it without any problem. I don't know a single person that actually died from freaking COVID. Yeah, so got you thinking, like, well, why are we doing all this crap? Well, then I go get tested. I have one test positive. 2 days later, the test is negative. My friend had every symptom of COVID under the sun. He went and got 2 tests. Both of them came in negative.
You gonna get that, or your answering service?
He's going to be quiet. The wife's calling him now.
Yeah, we got some pretty interesting discussion about the COVID going on in the side chat.
Yeah, that whole thing that was, funded by the U.S., developed in China, and just got out. Yeah, they couldn't work on that stuff here because of laws, so they had China do it and paid them. Fauci was in charge of that. And now he's the big mouthpiece for the whole U.S. reaction to COVID.
It kind of is, ain't it?
Yeah. My question is, who's running the White House?
A panel, probably.
Yeah, they're getting they're getting their marching orders from outside the White House. I have no doubt in my mind. That is my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's another term for Obama, is what it is.
Beyond
I think it's a conglomerate, with representatives from the UN, Russia, China.
Yep,
Bloomberg.
Anthony Brown, you're absolutely right. Pelosi, Obama, Hillary, they're all involved in it. The main people running the White House right now is Pelosi and Obama. Absolutely. I would agree with that 100%. Because the man in the seat has no idea what he's doing. Like, from minute to minute, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Wow. Yeah, G23 took 2 tests and 3 tests, all of them negative, and he still had to go quarantine for 14 days.
Well, how about all these people are going to be losing their job?
Yes, Alan, I did get it. My wife was calling.
Oh, very good, very good. She'd be disappointed if you didn't answer.
Somebody's concerned about my well-being. Nah, she just wanted to know if I'm okay, or she should call the life insurance company.
So Pamela Pelosi and Obama are both puppets as well. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. What would be your personal opinion on who's given them the orders?
The people that's given them the orders are the ones that all the when you get down to the final 2 candidates that are running for president, they always have a meeting with these people.
Yeah, the top 1% earners are richest people in the world.
Oh, not not top 1%, top 0.01%, maybe. Those are the richest people that actually they decide most of the elections in the entire world, not just the U.S. And if you think for 1 second there's not super rich people actually running the world, you're dreaming. That's why they want to. That's why they want to destroy this country. They want to destroy this country because any other country in the world, people are sheep. 100% of them are sheep, and they just follow. And here, because of the freedoms, because of the guns, because of the Constitution, we still have at least decent percentage of the people that use their own brain, and they're not gonna just follow, and they're willing to fight what they believe in. The rest of the world is lost. Any other country you look at is lost. Look at the shit that's happening in Australia. I mean, they're locking them down. You can't leave the house. You can't do this. You can't do that. Look at that stuff. And it all started 40 years ago. They took all their guns away. England, France, all over the place.
I would say definitely not the Vatican, but I think if we take Snake Doctor 78's latest comment, I think it's time to change subjects.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go back to dad jokes.
Okay, what's better? I mean, okay, why is CZs better than Glocks? We'll go back to that.
Oh, we do not have enough time to go over everything as to why. Matter of fact, we're getting close to time right now. Gonna run through the side chat real quick just to say who that says the participants are with Annalie Brown and AR Guns, Battlefield Curator, G23, Midas Welby, New York Outcast, Pamela Earp, Richard Marauder, Snake Doctor 78. The Crazy Scotsman is still out in the side chat, believe it or not. Tim S. and Uncle John. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Professional amateur, what you got coming up this week?
I don't know. I'm gonna try to edit and put together the videos from the 3-gun match. So hopefully I'll have a time to do that. Then I just gotta play a catch-up. I gotta play a catch-up game for the Lost Days. That's about all I have.
All right. Daniel, what do you got coming up this week?
Oh, it's top secret, but I just will say it's an intervention. Okay. And there will probably be some videos on that coming out next weekend. A major Glocktard will be involved.
Oh, is it time to convert?
Yeah.
Time to spread the virus.
Oh, yeah.
JH586,
what you got coming up to?
I like Idaho's comment. Browning for the win. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Crazy Scotsman is currently the man behind the curtain. So
yes, he is. He is. Great to see Midas and all you guys out there. I got to put together some videos and of photos and videos we took of the last 2 weeks where we've had folks in from out of town, and it's been just a great time for us. And Daniel, it was great to meet you. It was an honor to have you and the Crazy Scotsman at my home and share a meal with you guys. It was awesome. Thanks for coming. I hope we get to do that again soon. Check us out Friday nights on the Georgia Shooting Connection, Friday nights at 8 o'clock. And we do basically this with a reloading type slant to it. And Scotsman, thanks for having me. Thanks for the link. And appreciate spending time with you guys. I hope everybody has a great week coming up.
well, I guess that brings it down to me. Man, thank you guys for joining me here. Thank you, side chat. It's been rolling real good. Had some good conversations and some good speculations for the noisations, frustrations when you need some lubrication, baby. Yeah. All right. So, me this week, I'm going to put out a video about the differences between the kinetic energy felt between a 9mm and 10mm. Probably not. Don't look forward to that. Other than that, keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!